Hey Hearties, I'm Casey.
And I'm Cammie. Welcome to the Hearties Hotline,
your connection to Hope Valley.
We want to give a shout out to our friends at Edify Films, where you can get fabulous When Calls the Heart merchandise, like my hat.
And you can also get a fun When Calls the Heart game from our friends at the Bundle Game. Be sure to use discount code Hearties Hotline for 10% off.
We've got a fabulous episode for you today, full of laughter, tears, and heart.
So take a walk with us to Hope Valley and let's dive in. Happy Friday, Hearties! We are back with Kristen to talk about our hopes, dreams, and predictions of When Calls the Heart Season 8. Woo!
Happy last podcast before the premiere!
Woohoo! All right, let's get into our discussion. We have one last gigantic group and then we will wrap it up. But the first part of the triangle that we're going to tackle is Nathan. Nathan, let's talk about Nathan and Allie, and we'll talk about Nathan and Elizabeth. But Nathan, Allie, and we know from deduction that Allie's dad comes to town in some sort of fashion.
And he's the one that holds Nathan at gunpoint in the preview.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So what do we think about the Nathan, Allie, and Allie's dad relationship?
I think that run up the stairs when Nathan picks her up and grabs her. By the way, can I just say, I love that he throws his hat down and just grabs her with abandon, because we've seen him take off his hat and hug her. It's been very sweet, but this one, he just throws his hat aside, picks her up and just swings her. And it is the sweetest, most heartwarming scene ever, no matter what team you're on. You cannot deny how adorable that is. I think that scene either comes right after, because if you look carefully, Elizabeth is right there and Allie runs from Elizabeth to Nathan. I think that Nathan left Allie in Elizabeth's care when he went after Dad.
Oh.
And so that run was, you're safe. Yeah. Daddy didn't kill you. That's thought number one. Thought number two, because he's standing by the judge's office. He could be coming out from signing adoption papers to legally adopt her.
Yes.
Which is, oh my gosh, I'm already crying. That's just the thought of it. That's just, oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think, obviously it's not going to be a happy reunion with Allie's dad being there. And I think this is going to be kind of eye-opening for Nathan, that he's realizing, wow, I really am important in this little girl's life and I need to do something permanent about it now, And I think that, like Cammie said, that scene is after an adoption, official adoption. I'm so excited. It's so sweet.
I kind of wonder if that scene comes after being declared innocent or whatever from the inquiry.
Also good points.
I kind of wonder if Nathan were to adopt Allie, I feel like Allie would be there. And they would... Maybe, not necessarily.
I don't know how they do it in 1910. I just know how they do it in 2020. From what I know about historical things, the way that they dealt with children is children were basically property.
Yeah.
And so the children were not given choices. They weren't included in things the way they are now. And so even though that's exactly what Allie wants, she wouldn't have been included in the process. So it makes perfect sense to me that he would go into Judge Avery's office, sign the papers, and then come out and say, "You're mine." And she runs to him. So
yeah. And I guess it would make sense if that were to happen, that she would be like, "Mrs. Thornton, can you walk me back?"
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
she wouldn't just stumble upon him coming out and not know what it was,
Oh, no.
you know?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I also wonder, because Kevin said in an interview that Jada has really grown as an actress, and that a lot of things got thrown at her as an actress this coming season. And so I am really wondering what the interaction is going to be like with her and Dad. You know, what, when they first see each other, how is she going to react? Because he hasn't been around, from what we know. He has not been around since at least since Allie was 4.
Yeah.
You know, maybe even longer, because all Nathan says is, my sister passed when Allie was 4. Her father wasn't around much. You know, he's kind of brushing it aside the way he brushed his father aside.
Yes. So, I hope she has an opposite reaction from, you know, when the grandfather came. I hope she doesn't try to, you know, oh, I want to get to know him. I hope it's the opposite. She knows to stay away.
Yeah. That could be incredibly dangerous. Oh my gosh. I just had another thought.
Okay.
You remember the scene with the cabin, and he points the gun at Nathan, and then all the Mounties come and surround him. And I was talking to my friend Laura Lynn, who a lot of you will know as Colorado Heartie. And she said, before we found out that that was Dad, she guessed that that was Dad, because she said the look on Nathan's face was, it's personal, you know? And so what if Allie is inside the cabin?
I was actually wondering if he kidnaps Allie.
Yes.
That was my prediction.
What if Allie is inside the cabin and Dad sticks a gun out at Nathan saying, you come any closer, you try to take her away from me, and you die.
Yeah. The stakes are high in this one.
The stakes are high, according to Heartie's hotline.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if Dad takes Allie against her will,
or holds her hostage. Maybe he wants money or something.
That could be how she finds out that he really is a dirty, rotten scoundrel.
Yeah.
You know, that he's not worth the time.
Yeah. Huh. Oh man, this is gonna be so good, you guys.
My palms are sweating.
I know. I'm like, what about the inquiry? It's a Mountie from his past. Do you guys think that that it has anything to do with Jack? I've heard lots of different speculations on this inquiry.
I'm going to say no, but I really don't have a good reason to say no. I just personally I don't think so. Yeah.
I have no idea about the inquiry. I have no clue. It could be that he starts the adoption proceedings, and so they go looking in his background and find some dirty laundry. It could be they find some dirty laundry, and so then the Mounties take care of it, because the Mounties are, you know, they're like the military. They're going to handle it within the organization.
Yeah.
I have no idea about a Mountie from his past, but my theory about him and Jack, because, you know, there have been a lot of theories that he really did know Jack and he lied to Elizabeth because he wasn't comfortable talking about it. But here's my thought. The Fort Clay assignment was supposed to be his. and he turned it down. So it should have been him there instead of Jack.
Oh, wow.
And that would support his claim that he never knew him, never served with him, but he knew who he was. And I mean, and that would also support the reason why he's incredibly reluctant to bring it up, because it's to say the least, it's a sore spot, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my theory concerning Nathan and Jack.
Kristen, what are your thoughts?
I honestly have no idea. I agree with Kimmy. I don't think that they knew each other or anything like that. I don't think that the inquiry has anything to do with Jack at all. Yeah. I'm curious though.
I don't see there being a reason for the inquiry to have something to do with Jack.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that I see that. Regarding Nathan and his tongue-tied secret that has also been kind of teased and sprinkled throughout, like he's been holding something that he needs to let Elizabeth in on or whatever. I kind of wonder if he was there, but not directly involved. Because I assume, okay, if we remember the landslide from season 3, it took like a ton of people to go up and rescue those men in the coal mine. So I wonder if he was called to go help at Fort Clay after the landslide, and maybe and this is parallel again to season 3 when Jack meets Harper's dad. If Nathan meets Jack as he's dying and Jack says, "My wife is Elizabeth and Hope Valley, take care of her."
That would fit my fan fiction. That would fit my story.
There you go. But here's the thing. He didn't, just because Jack says that, or like in my imagination at least, just because he says that to Nathan, still it doesn't make Nathan a liar, because he never says he never talked to him. He just didn't know him.
He didn't know him, and he didn't serve with him.
He didn't serve with him, which that would fit right there. He only was part of the rescue team and happened to stumble upon Jack.
Well, and if he was at Fort Clay, there are a million units in one fort. So he could have easily been the commander of a different unit. Yeah. Of a different squad. So and maybe that's yeah.
And maybe that's why he goes to Hope Valley, and because maybe he does his research and he finds out it's a very family-friendly oriented area. This is where Elizabeth was. Jack was sent there to protect Elizabeth. And so now he feels this need to like watch over this widow, just because like Mounties have that, they have that honor, that
honor, brotherhood.
Oh yeah. So it may not have been a thing where he was like, oh, I gotta, maybe it was just a thing he felt he had to do. And he knew it'd be good for Allie to be raised in an area that was family oriented instead of like jumping from fort to fort wherever he is assigned,
Yeah.
In your imagination, is there a piece of paper that has a drawing of Jack and Elizabeth looking down at their baby too?
No, but that sounds really lovely, Cammie.
Well, thank you. I thought of it myself.
All right. Enough about Team Nathan. Let's move to Team Lucas. Let's talk about Lucas and Mama B.
Lucas and Mama B,
played by
mackerel.
The wonderful, lovely, talented Terrell Rothery, by the way.
Yes.
Oh man. Her. She is gonna be golden as Lucas's mother. She's perfect. The perfect choice.
Oh yeah.
Because she's short, but she's fiery.
Do you think she's the one that says honestly, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I said in my prediction on Instagram that she says, honestly, Elizabeth, how are you not head over heels in love with my son? You know, it's like, look at everything he's done to show you how much he cares for you. You know, that sounds like something a mother would say. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
What do you think about Mama Bouchard's relationship with Lucas and how that will play into Lucas's relationship with Elizabeth? I've also heard a lot of rumblings and thoughts and predictions on this one too. I've seen on Twitter and Instagram that people are wondering if maybe she's reading Elizabeth's work and she realizes who Elizabeth is actually falling for and pushes him to either direction, even if it's not her son. And maybe that's why she's teary-eyed. I've heard maybe she's got a secret too that has to do with like Lucas being adopted or something like that. She lets because he says the only French thing about myself is my last name. So
but he lied because he knows how to speak French. So
I mean, but still.
Yeah.
And we have heard from lots of several of the actors that we've talked to that John Tinker he gets the details from past episodes. Like he's been really connecting the dots here. So what are y'all's thoughts there?
I think Lucas is going to be a mama's boy. And I think that she's going to try to control that relationship a little bit. And he'll probably let her.
That's a very good theory. I don't see him as too much of a mama's boy, but I see them as very close, but in kind of a formal way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because he talks about in last year's Christmas episode. Well, not last year's, but you know what I mean. The last Christmas episode that we saw was he talked about how the rest of the year his parents were so busy, but at Christmas they came together. It sounds like he's an only child because he never mentions any siblings. But being, she's a very studious woman. She's an editor. She quotes Benjamin Franklin. And so I see them being close, but in a more formal way. They have a very formal respect for each other. And that could be either something that draws Elizabeth, that they have a very formal relationship and she really likes the mutual respect that they have for each other, especially if Mama Bouchard respects him as an adult.
Yeah.
Because if he is a mama's boy, then that would throw a big cog in the wheel, which would make for some very good drama. But so I think it could go either way. If they have a formal, mutually respectful relationship, it could either draw Elizabeth to it, or she can say, whoa, too formal. I am not like that anymore. And so long, So I think it could make things go either way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think Mama Bouchard's going to pick up on who Elizabeth's really falling for.
Oh, of course she is.
And I think
moms have a sixth sense about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think she's going to have a talk with Elizabeth and tell her you need to be straight up with my son.
Yeah.
You need to tell him how you're feeling, because when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Oh, no.
And you don't want to break the heart of a mother's son. So,
not when she's around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that will definitely be a really interesting dynamic, just because Lucas sent the manuscript to Elizabeth, or to his mother, without Elizabeth's permission in the first place. So then there's like that. You have Elizabeth, who's a brand new writer. So you have the insecurities that come with that as well. Not to mention that it's Lucas's mother. So like it's like a threefold whammy right there. Like I would not want to be in Elizabeth's shoes right now.
Oh no.
Hi. Hello, future mother-in-law, who is also editing my work and who is ripping my story to shreds because it's grammatically incorrect. Or there are dangling modifiers everywhere. Like,
It would also be interesting to see kind of the opposite, at least for a brief moment. You know, when Lucas introduces them, I could see her being very intrigued, because I don't remember the line word for word, but remember that Elizabeth's work inspired words of praise from Lucas's mother.
mm-hmm.
And so I can see, at least in the first meeting or the second meeting or something like that, her saying, you have a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, before she zeroes in on everything.
Right.
I think it would, but, you know, I think it could start out nerve-wracking for Elizabeth, but very amicable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like when she met Jack's mom. She couldn't figure it out, but there was no bad blood.
Yeah.
You know, she wanted Charlotte's approval, and she was dealing with how crazy and out there and completely opposite of her that she was.
Yeah.
But Charlotte liked her, and she was okay with her son being with Elizabeth. And so I think that Mama Bouchard is going to have kind and praising words for Elizabeth, at least in the beginning. So
okay, we shall see.
We shall.
All righty. My last three questions are timeline questions. So number one, when do you think Elizabeth will make a decision that's obvious to the audience? Like she and her person connect.
I'm going to guess. Yeah, I'm going to guess the end or the second to last episode.
Yeah, they're gonna keep us guessing the entire time.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna be playing the tug of war. The entire season. Kevin said it's full of red herrings.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I was hopeful for the middle. And then let's just like get on with Elizabeth and her new suitor and all of that. But because so many
that's
people,
season 9.
but since so many people are so invested with their team and that person, I think you guys are right. I think they were going to draw it out till at least, I am hoping it's going to be episode 10 out of 12.
You can hope.
I can hope. Okay. So when do you think Elizabeth is going to take off her rings? Middle, beginning, or end?
Probably middle.
That was my thought.
Middle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah.
She takes off her rings after the two of them have a wood chopping contest to help the town. Oh, wait, that's a dream of mine. I mean, I would love to see, because we got to see Nathan chop some wood, but she has not seen Nathan chop some wood, and we still have not seen Lucas get those pretty little hands dirty and chop some wood. Come on, Mr. Bouchard.
Yes. Yes. All right. We know that there's going to be a kiss. I think the three of us will agree. We don't think it's going to be in the beginning.
No.
It's going to be baby Jack's cheek.
When do you think this kiss is going to happen?
At the end.
And probably the very last scene.
Which would be awful.
I think it's going to be sooner than that.
You do?
I think it's going to be sooner than the end. Yeah.
Huh.
I think it's going to be like, I think it's going to be maybe like episode 9-ish. And Elizabeth flips out because she's like, when calls the heart, name of the show, she goes, she kisses the suitor because the heart is calling her to kiss the suitor. And then she freaks out because she took off her rings. That is the first step of moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Kissing is definitely, you're all in at this point. Like, you're looking forward. You're not looking back in the past. I mean, Jack will always be a part of Elizabeth and her life. I mean, they have baby Jack together. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was so much love invested there. But for her to move past this tragedy, I think I kind of wonder if she's going to kiss and then she's going to have this moment and then there's going to be conflict and then there's going to be an official resolution for the two of them.
Okay.
Is it possible that the kiss provokes taking the rings off?
Ooh.
I mean,
good. Mm-hmm.
So I have a theory that big time staring contest that we see with Elizabeth's hand on Sargent is an interrupted kiss with Nathan and Elizabeth. That has to be an interrupted kiss because those are some very intense gazes.
Yes.
You know, whether little Jack interrupts them or Elizabeth's terrified gaze makes Nathan change his mind or something like that. I think that might be an interrupted kiss. I'm also wondering if Lucas and Elizabeth might have a moment, at least an interrupted kiss on the bridge.
Ooh.
Because heaven knows that's a perfect spot for it. So that kind of brings me to my next one. Are both of them going to try to kiss her? Remember at the end of season 7, we talked about that.
Mm-hmm, we did.
Are both of them going to try? I would be very curious to see, are both of them going to try?
I think definitely Nathan, because I've seen that he's going to be more direct with his intentions this season. And I think he's just going to go for it.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. What about Lucas? Do you think that he's going to try?
It just depends. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So from the eyes of Team Nathan as me, I'm going to try and do it both ways.
Okay.
I think that, okay, so the bridge theory with what you just said, Cammie, about Lucas maybe going for it at the bridge, because, I mean, Anne of Green Gables in the bridge. Hello. Perfect kiss moment. That would be perfect for their first kiss. If it were to be Lucas and Elizabeth. But I also wonder if that's where he tries and she steps back and she that's like,
yeah, that's what I mean.
That's like the breakup bridge, which would actually kind of crush my little heart, even though I'm on the opposite team. But no, I mean, but the thing is though, I mean, we were building up this relationship with Elizabeth and Lucas. And if they were to make their next step forward together, the bridge would be the perfect spot. It's beautiful.
It's true.
But also, it would also be a beautiful, heartbreaking spot because you're playing with the emotions if that were the place where Elizabeth decides to step back.
Yeah.
And she tells Lucas, I'm sorry. So there's that theory. And then if it's Nathan, I kind of wonder if she chooses Nathan, she goes for the kiss first. She initiates it. I kind of wonder if because like in the preview, you can't really tell when they're intensely gazing at each other. It almost looks like she's moving forward first, like very, very slightly. But if they were to break up, I feel, I don't know where they would break up. That would be, It might be, and I wonder if it's one of those in the woods conversations. If they were to break up in the woods, maybe they're taking a walk with the horses, and then he starts telling her how he feels, and Elizabeth stops him, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm not in love with you," and that's when he leaves her, and she's sitting on that log, the tree stump.
The log,
or the tree, fallen down tree. She's sitting there by herself with the horse. I mean. I'm trying to be neutral here.
You're doing a great job,
you
honey.
Are, yeah.
In my mind, I'm so sorry. I don't like conflict, but I kind of wonder if I feel like those would be key moments for me.
There is one thing that I want absolutely to happen with Nathan and Elizabeth, and it is I want to see that dinner, because Lucas has gotten a dinner in a very nice restaurant. He's gotten a picnic and he's gotten a candlelight snack, if you will, in the library.
Yeah.
And we also see in the promos that there is another picnic. And it very much looks like another candlelit dinner. So Nathan asked her to go to dinner with him at the end, right before he left to escort the prisoner. He asked her to go to dinner at the cafe with him. And it's just fair.
Yeah.
She's got to go to dinner because we didn't see her reaction to Nathan's flowers. We only saw the reaction to Lucas's flowers. And we have not seen them in a date setting.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that even if she does end up choosing Lucas, I would like to see dinner with Nathan, because we have not seen it yet. And we've seen it a lot with Lucas.
Yeah. Kristen, what are your thoughts?
Oh, man. Honestly, I think this is going to be the Nathan season.
You think so?
Although I am Team Lucas, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump ahead, I think she's going to pick Nathan. I really do. And what sealed it for me was when I think it was when Kevin McGarry did the interview with Deidre. And I actually wrote the quote down because he says it really quickly. He says that Nathan's going to be direct with what he wants and what he's willing to give up to get it. And personally, I think he's going to reevaluate his career as a Mountie. And if he does adopt Allie, right, and he doesn't want to put her, in this danger. He doesn't want to be gone all the time because he needs to be there to be a father. And, we see the clip of Bill with the red surge. Maybe Bill's going to take over. I honestly think she is going to pick Nathan because as a Team Lucas fan, that's one of the things that, I didn't want another Mountie. Well, now if he's not going to be a Mountie anymore, that's, one more strike for Nathan on my part, Like, okay, we're not going to do a Mountie storyline again. Okay, I can get used to this.
Oh,
that's bold prediction.
I know.
Bold prediction.
I know. Now, obviously, I hope I'm wrong. But I would be okay.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, but I would accept it if that's what happens. So.
Okay.
Interesting. That's good. Because we didn't talk about Bill trying on the red surge, but that would make sense. That would make complete sense.
Yep, absolutely.
I would like to see if it is Lucas that she picks. Before she picks Lucas, I would like to see Lucas with little Jack Moore.
Please,
like I said in the beginning
please.
of this podcast, I am a sucker for grown men and itty bitty babies. I mean, even that clip of Robert holding baby Jack, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I'm a melter over those things. I just love children and parent relationships. But that's one thing I am hoping, if it's going to be Team Lucas, if it's going to be Lucas that Elizabeth chooses, I just want to see him in a very family oriented situation with Jack, because Nathan has held baby Jack.
Yes, he has.
Lucas and is not.
He plays with him. He holds his hand, and
yeah.
The most that Lucas has done is crouch down to his level and talk to him, but he still says, "Hello there, young man."
Yeah, I mean, the young man thing
it was fine.
Yeah, but I think but it would make sense as to him calling little Jack young man if he grew up very formally.
Exactly.
Exactly. So
no, that totally fits.
Yeah. No, it totally fits the character. But I would just like to see, I'd like to see Lucas take his coat off and just, be free. Get messy. Play a little.
That was one moment that melted my heart. Completely melted my heart, was when Nathan held baby Jack and twisted that handsome face of his into those hilarious mugs, and was making him laugh. Is there anything cuter than a man making a baby laugh? That melted my heart. And that was a big point on Nathan's side for me. And so, yes, I want to see Lucas, even if she ends up choosing Nathan, Lucas needs to make it hard for her in the little Jack department. I do. I just want to see Lucas with Jack more.
Yeah. Same. All right. Final question of the evening.
Okay.
Kristen has already answered this. So Cammie, you're in the hot seat.
Oh my gosh, I know what you're going to do.
Who do you think Elizabeth will choose, regardless of the team?
You're making me do this. Oh, you stinker. Okay. All right. Nobody shoot me. I truly do believe that it is going to be Nathan, based on, you heard me say it with Deidre, just based on what I know of a Hallmark formula and all of that. And just things that I've noticed in their interactions, I truly do think that it is going to be Nathan. But if it does happen to be Lucas, I'm not going to throw a fit. I'm not going to stop watching the show. I think it would be strange, but I won't make a fuss about it. But I do think it is going to be Nathan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think
hot spot.
I think that Elizabeth is also going to choose Nathan. And
we are unanimous.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've mentioned it before. I mentioned it when we talked to Deidre. Originally, I was team Lucas just because I really didn't want another Mountie story. But then Kevin McGarry graced our screens and I was like, okay, I see you. And I kind of said that tongue in cheek. I didn't go into a lot of details, but I'll go into details now. The reason why I flipped teams, it's not necessarily because Lucas was a bad guy. It was because Nathan held baby Jack. Y'all know this about me. I mean, third time I've said this today.
Yep.
It was that moment, and there was an eye connection with Elizabeth and Nathan, and Elizabeth looking at Nathan holding baby Jack, because baby Jack didn't have a father who had held him, and like everybody who was holding baby Jack was like, Lee, Bill, the other widows in town. Like he didn't have a fatherly figure to hold him in that capacity.
Yep.
And so in my mind, it kind of looked like Elizabeth had that moment of like what could be and what could have been.
Right.
And so that was what sealed the deal for me on moving to Team Nathan officially. The reason why I think that she's going to pick him is just because it's been too Lucas-centric in the last season. They're not going to bring in a triangle and make it like, I don't know. It's not going to be so heavy if she's not going to pick the other guy, because there has to be conflict there. And and like Cammie, you said, he's done the dates, he's done the candlelit dinners, he's done so many things. We see all that. We don't see the Nathan side.
Yeah.
Yep.
So unless they're going to drag it out another season, so it'd be even, I mean, who knows? But the fact that they're ending with Nathan, it makes me think that she's going to end up with him. And I do think they're going to kiss in the woods. By the horse. That's my prediction. And Team Lucas, please keep listening to us. We will promise to be very, very unbiased. Cammie, actually, if you didn't listen to our recaps on the Hallmarkies podcast last year, Cammie actually did a point-by-point system. I mean, like, girlfriend was so unbiased there. And I think you said Lucas won by a point, right?
Yeah, by more than a point.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
I mean,
Lucas actually won with and I was also undecided for a long time.
Yeah, longer than me. She did not choose a team, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this moment, I'm probably 95% Team Nathan, but I'm still holding that 5% because he's a good man.
Yeah.
You know, if she does choose him, she's not going to be suffering. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, but yes, I am going to declare that I am probably mostly Team Nathan now. Yes.
Yeah. But like I said, last season, she had the point-by-point system.
Oh, man, that was fun.
It was great. It actually kept us very unbiased to a degree because we did have somebody who was keeping track of like who was getting the, you know, the love-ins from Elizabeth and everything. So continue listening. And you know what? If she chooses Lucas, I'm not going to be upset. Chris McNally, man. He's something. He's something. And I think I am hoping that if she does choose Lucas, that they kind of bring out a more fun fire in them, because right now Lucas to me is just so formal. Yeah. And I just want him to loosen up. I think that's what's keeping me back from Team Lucas, or that's a good point. Elizabeth. And I also think Elizabeth she too is also super formal with Lucas. So I just want to see that fun bantery side of them come out. Yeah. But alrighty. Well, we will see you guys next Wednesday as we recap season 8, episode 1, open season,
with a special guest. Yes. So come and find out who.
Yep. She may or may not have been on the show at one point. Oh, gotta go. Alrighty, Hearties. Come back and listen to us. We hope you enjoyed our week of fun leading up to the season 8 premiere. And Kristen, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter. My handle is @HeartieKristen.
All right. Be sure to follow Kristen at HeartieKristen on Twitter. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys. Enjoy the premiere.